Right, hey, we're back again. It's Mike Brennan. We're on MITech TV. Matt's not with us today, but I have a good friend, Terry Bean, who's kindly sitting in to be my co-host. So we have Gary Erickson on the show. He's the managing partner of Executive Search Partners. So his group recruits a lot of C-level folks, particularly CIOs, CISOs. Those are so. What is the state of market for senior level positions in Michigan?
Um, Morning or afternoon, Mike and Terry. Nice seeing you again in a long time. Just seeing that the market for the last 2 years is the technical word that I've used before on this show is it sucks, and it started towards the end of 2022. It started slowing down a lot. 2022 was great. 2023 and 24. I think the economy, the worry about inflation has caused the CFOs and companies to say, let's walk slow on replacing people. There's also a change in the marketplace in terms of how willing people are to relocate, to leave their positions. So I think we're seeing less openings because fewer people are moving around right now. They're a little worried about the economy themselves, and the CSOs are saying, hold on any filling of any new positions, or in some cases, any replacement position.
So there's just not as much movement. I mean, for years we were so upside down with the number of jobs available versus the number of people to fill them. Are
Right.
we just back to even so it feels ridiculously different, or have we actually flipped to the other side?
I don't have the numbers, Terry, to support that one way or another. I don't think it's flipped as much as it's just sort of, people are just being cautious
It's
right
just
now. And
dormant.
yeah, and I think, the economy, we get the interest rates to take another drop down. We're beginning to see the housing markets pick up a little. We're beginning to see hiring pick up a little. People are more optimistic. I have no idea what the election is going to do one way or another, but usually it doesn't have the impact that people fear.
Right. Yeah,
Well, let's hope
everybody's on
not, because
hold.
Yeah, yeah, and maybe that's part of it. Maybe people are on hold waiting to see who the next president and what their administration is going to do about a number of things.
huh.
Pure
Uh,
pure speculation.
yeah. Well, again, I know what the trend lines are, but it doesn't mean anything. Although the fact that a lot of people are voting early, they're setting records. But who they're voting for, don't know. So,
Yeah, and
uh,
and one of the things you want to avoid if you're in a position of selling things to a lot of people and hiring people is you want to keep your political leanings less obvious. I'm not Elon Musk, for example, who's lost a lot of business because half the people in the country say, I'm not going to support that guy because he's supporting Trump. And then the
yeah.
other half are saying, let's go buy a Tesla. you know,
Right.
Until
People
they
that
find
you
out the
wouldn't
how
think
much
would.
part, right?
yeah.
So, all right. So the other thing I wanted to ask is, what's the impact of artificial intelligence on the hiring process?
All right. Well, for years, people have been giving advice that says, and Terry, you probably see this a lot too. So I welcome your ideas. But the thought is that artificial intelligence can take over for a human being in screening resumes. So, I've got a position description I've written down. I would like somebody with IT experience in manufacturing who's worked on, SAP or Dynamics 365, who's led this kind of industry company. And oh, by the way, that's the input I give to the artificial intelligence engine in my applicant screening system. And so people apply through that. They change their resumes. They got a whole bunch of keywords at the top of their resumes and say, this is why you should consider me. And they think the bots are going to screen them in or out based on those keywords. It's been my experience that any company using that kind of process really misses out on people. Resumes are inconsistent. Terminology is inconsistent. So our AI you're supposed to train it. And this is a very specific use case, screen resumes, which should be easier for AI to do. But the example I give to people to understand how good AI is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is probably as good as they get for going through screening resumes and allowing you me, I'm a professional recruiter. They have a professional recruiter tool to then go out and search for resumes based upon keywords like I want manufacturing experience, I want D365 experience, I want director of IT or CIO kind of experience. And we're doing a new search in that basis right now. And I've learned that if I don't widen the filters a lot, I miss a lot of quality people. Right. At the same time, when I widen the filters, I'll get 300, 400, 500 people to look at, which takes forever. So I try and screen it down a little. Even then, their AI, which is relatively good, misses a lot of key people. So bottom line is, if a company is using AI to screen a resume, they're not doing a good job. So I think AI for screening resumes is still not up to what it needs to be. And I'm not sure when it's going to happen because the variability of the underlying data is so great.
Hey, Gary, you bring up a couple of really excellent points. I think if you're screening a population that's ginormous, right, where lower level, maybe early mid-level careers, where if you post a position, you're going to get thousands of applicants, using the AI to narrow that down a little bit to put some relief on your HR team is good. But at the level where you're playing, at that executive level, I think that needs human intervention all day long. I want actual intelligence, not artificial intelligence for that.
Oh, okay. AI versus AI.
That's right.
Got it. Yeah, and I agree with that. Absolutely.
Excellent. Now, I think that's such a fun space. I don't know if you recall, but I was in that recruiting staffing space a million years ago, and it's been so wild to see. And it used to always be a really good indicator of where our economy was, right? I mean, it was.
Yes, it is, I think, a good indicator.
Do you still see that as true?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're beginning to see some upticks in requirements because usually what seems to lead the requirements is requests for new salespeople. You wouldn't necessarily guess that, but we have two searches underway now for salespeople, and we haven't had them for a while. And this is the people saying, "Okay, I'm ready to start generating more business. I think people are going to be ready to buy. Let's go find some salespeople, and so we can start generating it." So that's the first uptick. The other thing I found is that usually open positions are a good indication of how companies are feeling about the future. It takes a while to fill them, takes a while to post them, but I agree with you. Yeah, it's a good indicator.
Good.
But right now, I think the indicators are all slight uptick in the economy, but not a big uptick.
Something to look forward to, and hopefully, whatever happens next week, kind of opens the floodgates a little bit in your world, and because that's beneficial for the rest of us.
Yeah, it reduces some level of uncertainty.
Yes.
There's a lot of that for sure. So now, do you have any new positions? You mentioned something about manufacturing. Is that one of the positions you're looking to fill, or what?
Yeah, so we have it's interesting. I just want to comment this real quickly. We've seen some significant changes in the requirements for hiring process. A lot of people moving to in-house requirements, and for a while, the senior level IT positions have been ones that have changed from being somebody who can run the infrastructure and operations to much more of a strategic thinking position where they're working with the executive management on how technology can help improve their business. And we have one of those positions in northern Indiana where we're looking for a CIO for a $2.5 billion manufacturing company that we just got Friday. And it's not in Southeast Michigan. We don't have any new positions in Southeast Michigan other than two sales positions that we've posted. We're looking for somebody with a strong manufacturing background. They have to have Dynamics 365. It's a $2.5 billion company, but with a relatively small IT staff in the 30-person range. They're looking for somebody who can help this company move into the future because they have really old, outdated systems, and people are used to using them, and they're not aware of what they can get with the new stuff. There's improved security with maybe going off to the cloud. So this is all of we're looking for a VP who understands the balance between company benefits and how this technology can provide and technological depth, so they can help them convert from where they are to the new systems and articulate the value for each of the individuals who's using these new systems, as well as articulate the value for the whole company.
And what does a job like that pay? What sort of range are we in?
Well, it depends on two things. In factors influence salary: size of staff and size of company. And you're in the $225,000 to $300,000 range generally for a $2 billion company. Base
Okay.
salary plus 30 to 35% bonus, and varies by company, varies by location. New York City and California are more expensive and higher salaries than, say, South Bend, Indiana, which tends to be a little bit less.
Yeah.
Makes total sense. Makes total sense.
And, and
I got an idea. I'm gonna go check on this guy's LinkedIn profile, Gary, and if it says a couple of the words you mentioned, I'll send them to you. If nothing
Thank
else,
you,
he'll
Terry.
know some people.
Yeah, and I've had early. I posted the job online on Friday afternoon, and I've gotten almost 300 applicants.
holy moly.
Where's that
Yeah.
AI? Damn it!
The
Oh,
AI is right here. Here's the AI. Me.
Yes, sir.
wow,
The
that's a lot of
actual
stuff to do.
intelligence going through it. I love it.
Yeah.
CIO with the right salary, and people are saying, geez, I'd like to apply for that. And then you get a lot of people who don't have the background, despite what the posting says. You must have the following.
Right. Yeah, that's
Well,
must
they
have.
just
That
smell
means
that three
optional.
hundred thousand dollars, and that catches their full attention. So,
Yeah, mine too. And you ought to
yeah.
consider, and you ought to consider me because I know I can do the job.
Okay, sounds good. All right, cool. And so now, how do folks reach out to you if they either want to post a job or they want to look at your job board, or how do they do that?
Well, the easiest way to find us is to go to www.execsearchpartners.com. And all of our phone numbers and email addresses of any of the partners are in there. And every one of the partners there is aware of the position and can provide insight and background on it.
All right. Thank you, Gary Erickson.